Good evening and hello and welcome and other greetings that I think you can throw at people on a Monday evening at 8:30. You are very, very welcome along to a brand new DA Dungeon stream marked for midnight. This is our very, very first episode, and it's a session 0.5, a preamble to our prologue. Um, and if you are new to D8 Dungeon, welcome along. We are a group of TTRPGers, mostly from Ireland, but with players and friends far afield. We get together here on Twitch 2 nights a week to tell different stories. Mondays, I just do horror. Apparently, that's just a Monday horror. Mondays are crap enough. You need a bit of horror to get over them, I think.
It is the spooky day of the week.
It is the spookiest day of the week. Everybody knows that. Yeah, correct. My name is Declan. I am the Dungeon Master for D8. I am the Dungeon Master for D8 Dungeon. But tonight I am your archivist. We are not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We are running Monster of the Week, a Powered by the Apocalypse game from Evil Hat Productions, and I'm really, really excited for it because it's my first time running this system, which means I will be breaking the system to explain the weird random rule things that I throw at the players every now and again. If you're in chat and you have played Monster of the Week, please help. Occasionally there may be calls for, what's this do? What does this button do? But you may recognize 3 of our players this evening. I am joined by Emma, Eilish, and Richard. Our 4th player, Dahi, isn't able to join us tonight, unfortunately, hence the preamble to the prologue, and they will be on site for the next session. So before we jump into our game tonight, before we kind of kick off, there's a couple of things that I want to just outline. Marked for midnight, if you didn't guess from the opening credits, is a 1980s horror-inspired adventure. So there will be horror elements, there will be gore elements, there will be violence, there will be supernatural, paranormal themes throughout the adventure. If that's not your cup of tea, then no problem at all whatsoever. It may not have been Eilish's, as I think she just left the stream, and she's just now.
I asked her to refresh. She was like,
okay. But if that's not your cup of tea, then totally get it. Videos, the full streams will be available on our VODs over on YouTube, usually about a week after we stream. As I said, it's a Monster of the Week game. It's also my first time running a Monster of the Week game, so I'm probably not going to get it right all the time. But we're here to tell stories and have a good time first and foremost. So outside of that, why don't we go round really, really quickly? She's gone again. It's the first stream that we have to get all the technical and organizational and administrative issues out of the way now. So as is a D8 Dungeon tradition, will we go around, and if you want to very briefly tell us a little bit about yourself and then who you are playing. Obviously we'll leave Eilish to last. Richard, do you want to dive into this? Do you want to start us off?
Sure. What would you like?
Well, tell us who you are first, and then who you're playing.
Oh, I am Richard. I have been with the Dungeon for a little while. I was part of their Beyond Horizons Edge campaign. Absolutely fantastic fun. Outside of that, most of the rest of my life is also D&D and TTRPGs, because I'm a terrible, terrible nerd like many of you. Here I will be playing, not my first time in Monster, love the system. I will be playing Security Alexander Dimepad, a philosophy major who just doesn't get it, a minor in history of the book. Very, very excited to bring it to life and give Deck a chance to unbring.
Emma?
Yeah, so I'm Emma. I've been with D8 for a couple of years now on various different streams. I got into D&D probably about 2-ish decades ago. Declan introduced me for his sins. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm really excited for this game, actually. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun and probably a little bit looser in terms of deaths and rules, etc. So I'm excited for it.
My rules definitely looser. Death, not so much.
I'll be playing Morgan Berry, who is a top of the class student, all-round nice person, friends with everyone, and excited for any adventure ahead. So she's going to be really annoying. Yeah, that's me.
I love Morgan. Morgan sounds like such a fun character, and I'm really, really excited to see Morgan and Security in action. So that'll be a lot of fun. Eilish, hopefully, all tech gremlins aside, do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and then who you're playing?
Yeah, I'm Eilish. I have been annoying Declan and playing D8 games for as long as it's been in existence, I guess. I'm like a bad penny. You can't get rid of me. So, he has tried multiple times and failed. I will be playing Antoinette Bell-Lee, also known as Annie. She is your run-of-the-mill stereotypical bookworm. Extremely invested in her book boyfriends, potentially some more than others. And she was a bit of a straight A student, and now she is not. And the reasoning for that will become apparent as we play.
Or will it, if you survive?
Probably not.
There's a couple of things I'm going to start with, and it's, I think, something I've never done before on stream that I think might help for everybody watching, might help you kind of get your head around what's the tone of this game, where are we playing, what and how are we playing. So I'm gonna read the prologue that I sent to these unfortunate poor victims. Declan's gonna put pants on a stream first. Joke's on you. I'm definitely not doing that. Prologue. Marked for midnight. Department of Interdisciplinary Studies, Blackwood University, February 6th, 1986. Dear insert student's name. Congratulations. After careful consideration, the Faculty Selection Committee is pleased to inform you that you have been chosen to participate in the prestigious Lake Pineview Field Study, an immersive, cross-disciplinary research excursion scheduled for the conclusion of the upcoming semester. Your academic record and demonstrated intellectual curiosity have distinguished you among your peers, making you an ideal candidate for this unique opportunity. This fully funded excursion will take place at Lake Pineview, nestled at the foot of the majestic Mount Mitchell. Over the course of 10 days, you and your fellow scholars will engage in a series of structured research activities, spanning multiple fields of study, including psychology, folklore, environmental science, and sociology. This trip will not only deepen your understanding of interdisciplinary research methodologies, but also provide valuable experiential learning in an environment steeped in both natural beauty and cultural history. Lake Pineview is particularly renowned for its rich local lore. Tales whispered across generations, stories that have shaped the regional identity in fascinating ways. Understanding the intersection between these narratives and human perception is a key component of this study. As such, participants are encouraged to remain open-minded, observant, and above all, committed to the spirit of inquiry that defines true scholarship. What we perceive is often as significant as what we can prove, and your insights will contribute to a broader academic discourse on the power of stories in shaping belief and behavior. Further details, including travel arrangements, lodging accommodations, and preliminary research itinerary, will be provided in the coming weeks. Please confirm your participation by March 5th, 1986, so we may finalize the roster of attendees. Should you have any questions in the meantime, do not hesitate to reach out. We look forward to embarking on this journey of discovery with you. After all, the best research often leads us to answers we never thought to question. Sincerely, Dr. Marlon Berkowitz, Lead Coordinator, Lake Pineview Field Study, Blackwood University. The air above Lake Pineview is heavy with silence. A quiet so deep it presses against the skin. The stillness of the black water mirrors the towering pines that line its shores, darkened limbs swaying only when the wind dares to move through the valley. The mountain stands watch beyond, casting its endless shadow over the expanse of trees, a sentinel that has known centuries of secrets. But something stirs beneath the canopy, where the light of the day dares not reach. The animals know it. Their calls falter as dusk creeps in, the usual chorus of wilderness falling into an uneasy hush. Even the wind seems to hesitate, as if unwilling to brush against whatever waits in the blackened spaces between the trees. Those who have walked too far from the campsite speak of a presence, a shape that moves where no path leads, eyes that glint like distant embers before vanishing into the murk. Urban legend, superstition, folk tales gone awry. Most folk give it all a wide berth. The locals, the ones who lived in the valley long enough to inherit its fears, do not speak of it aloud. They leave offerings at the forest's edge, small tokens of respect, and warn outsiders to do the same. Because the lake is old, but what lingers in the tree is older still, waiting, watching, and whispering its name to those who dare to listen. It's April, a month after you volunteered and signed your name, committing to the attendance for the field research. It's a cold morning. The sun is up and out, and it lingers over some hazy, low-lying clouds. The black slate roof of the student building glistens with morning rain. In the distance, the familiar chime of the old church bell, lost in Blackwood City, kind of rings out. A familiar call, all too familiar for those of you on a late night, early morning start. A rager that lasted a little too long. A cram session that fell into the blurs of twilight and dawn. You find yourselves from all directions crossing Blackwood University campus. Trees are beginning to show signs of leafy green. Spring has sprung, and soon the air will turn and there will be the sweetened scent of flowers. For now, this cold morning, rucksack, suitcase, backpack, whatever it may be that you have packed and stuffed with you for the 10-day field trip, you feel against your back as you head out the door, and you feel the morning air kiss your skin. The grounds of the university are quiet. It'll be an hour before it truly rises as staff and students muddy their way across the greens and the paths to the various lecture halls, research buildings. Morgan, Antoinette, and security. You've been told to convene outside the Blackwood University student building, and you recognize it in the distance. And there's a pang at the back of your mind. There's a memory of the first semester. That night, the Thursday of Rush Week, you had made your way across campus late. Lost track of time, falling from one frat and sorority party to another, looking to cram even this early. Something caught your eye, each of you. Something on the roof. You looked up, and it was a blur, and there was a sickening thud as you saw the young man fall from the roof of the Student Union building. In that moment, Antoinette, how did you react?
I think initially she probably would have just kind of froze and done a double take to be like, did I just see that? Because I assume it wasn't accompanied by any sound.
There was, again, when you think of the memory, there is a sound, but you don't know if you can trust it. You don't you don't know if your mind has put it there to fill in that gap, or was there actually a sound?
So then she would have probably run towards where the person would have landed.
Morgan, same question.
She would have turned to look, but probably would have stayed frozen in place, just kind of with her hand over her mouth, and seeing Annie running, she's kind of glad that there's somebody more responsible than her. She'll wait for direction to see if she needs to get help.
Okay. And security.
I think security rushes forward. He doesn't even know why he's doing it. He doesn't fully take in what's even just happened in front of him. He just starts moving towards it. No purpose or intent, just reacting, almost in shock.
For Annie and security, from opposite ends, different paths on campus, you saw this young man fall from the roof. You come running, and at an intersection where these two side paths connect with that main entrance and the main pathway, the main promenade from the student hub to some of the larger kind of lecture buildings and the library, out into a courtyard. There's no body. But you distinctly remember seeing this young man fall.
Do I see there's nobody?
No, you were going to say if you froze in spot, because there's all these tall trees and like hedgerows and stuff like that. So the view would be kind of obfuscated for you, Morgan. Like unless you'd come around, but there's again, like I said, it's this kind of courtyard, and there's all these part of like all the laneways are kind of lined with like very, very old oak trees and hedgerows and stuff like that.
How tall is the building?
4 floors.
Yeah, so Annie's just going to look up and see, is there any balconies or anything that the body could have landed in instead?
Sorry, I know there was just a quick note there from chat.
Yeah.
The music might be a bit too loud. Thanks, Zool. Do you want to, like, are you pulling a move here, Annie? Like,
no, it's just kind of like there's no body here, so where did it go kind of thing.
You look up and you don't see anything.
She's going to kind of look around to see if anybody else has seen it.
I think security is staring at Annie, hoping that somehow she'll make sense of what he just thinks he's seen.
You look around, Annie, and you do see. You see security. He like again. What does security look like? How does he present himself?
He's tall and thin and has wild hair that needs cut, and at the best of times probably looks like he just came out of a several-hour-long research study session. But he just looks like that all the time.
You kind of lock eyes with him, Annie, and there's a moment where you don't know if it's nerves, you don't know what, but your heart actually flutters. There's like this, a heat kind of rises in your, and you kind of blush a little bit. You lock eyes, but you also notice there are others around. There's a guy that you always see in the library. You think he's a PhD student. You're not 100% certain, but there are and kind of seeing you and security there, they don't approach. They kind of just all kind of filter off. They're like, oh, it's probably like a prank, or some bad weed or too much to drink. But everybody kind of, nobody else is approaching. And Morgan, you also see that a lot of people, there were a few more people around than you had actually first gathered. But again, it is rush week. There's a lot of parties on campus, so maybe there just was a lot of people, and maybe it was just a trick of the light. But people are kind of filtering away. Nobody's panicking. Everyone just seems to be walking away.
Okay. She's just gonna like edge a little closer and just make sure she can't see anybody or anything. And once that's confirmed, she will continue on her way.
Okay. Question for all three of you: where are you heading after this? With no body, with no victim. Well, what is your plan for the rest of the night?
What time is it?
It's just after midnight.
She'd be going home.
Okay.
Or back to her dorm.
Annie's heading back to her dorm room. Security?
I think security was heading back to his dorm and instead decides to just take the long scenic route to clear his head.
Morgan?
Morgan's going to one of her friend's dorm rooms just to catch up and have a little chat and maybe a drink before she heads back to her own room.
As the rest of the night and the memory kind of blurs into that, like, oh, I think I fell asleep, or I think I took a couple of swigs from a cheap bottle of Kahlua, whatever it was, and like the memory fades. You find yourselves again all kind of cloistered around that courtyard and this large fountain. It's not on, like the water is just sitting in it stagnant. And there's a good few people all kind of here with, like, again, some have just like a duffel bag. You see one or two with really expensive looking kind of cases of luggage. And it is this mishmash of student body, like first years, a couple of fourth year students, second year, third year. There's even a handful of PhD, but they're lingering with more of the staff. As you approach Morgan, a woman in her kind of her mid to late 20s sort of just steps out from that smattering of staff. You see she's wearing a long, heavy black coat, red pleather kind of gloves. Her hair is kind of slicked back, short kind of hazelnut brown hair that's just kind of pulled kind of back. And she's wearing kind of a heavy scarf, kind of protecting herself from kind of the chill in the morning. Very, very simple, demure sort of makeup, but she is wearing some. Around her neck, you do see a Blackwood University lanyard and a like an identity card. It's Vanessa Fitzgerald. She is a PhD. Like a long-term PhD candidate student and a teaching assistant. She's holding a clipboard. She's a pen, and she gives it two sharp clicks as you approach. good morning. And then she kind of flicks through the paper. Morgan Berry?
Very yet.
Wonderful, Morgan. We have all of your paperwork in order. I'm just going to need you to, and she just kind of turns the clipboard and like hands the pen to you. I'm just going to need you to sign here.
Okay, sure. And Morgan's going to read it every line in detail.
So
Anything
this is
extraordinary or anything I shouldn't be signing?
You have signed all of the kind of the paperwork previously. This is so like kind of like that the Blackwood University is the sole owner of any and all research conducted by students, so on and so forth. Like stuff that you are atypical. Like it's that thing of like you wouldn't expect it. Anything kind of normal. This is simply sort of a roster and sign-in sheet that you are. The person who has presented themselves is Morgan Berry.
Yeah.
And there is like you see your name and stuff like that. And it's just there's a couple of names on the sheet. You recognize the Downbyth, and it's a thing of like, oh, his name is Security. Oh, okay. And
I wonder if he knows sobriety.
It's that like you recognize a couple of names on the sheet. Two in particular stand out to you. There is two individuals that are from the same department as you, Callum and Eric.
Okay.
They're third year students, and both sort of like interested in. Both seem like hardworking and kind of level-headed gentlemen. Obviously, they're not kind of in the same classes as you, but you'd be familiar with them in the department, and so on and so forth. They've already signed in, and it's one of those things. As you see their names, you see them in the crowd, and they are kind of just standing off to one side. And Callum is smoking a cigarette.
Okay. Morgan will sign in her very curly, flowery handwriting and then draw a tiny little berry at the end of her signature as she normally does. And then she'll approach Callum and Eric, and she will take out her own cigarette, I think, actually, and join them. It's the 80s, so I mean...
Just for the record, D8 Dungeon does not endorse smoking. As you kind of approach, kind of Callum kind of looks back at you. Callum is like shaved head, black, kind of stocky, but kind of that muscular sort of. He has the look of somebody who may have played football in college or like in high school, but like of the two, and like in his year, he is probably the most successful academically. Like he's there's already talk kind of amongst faculty that they're encouraging him to stay on for a master's program, if not a PhD. He kind of looks at you, and Eric, before Callum even has a chance to like say good morning, Eric just kind of looks at you. Barry.
Yeah.
What time is it?
What time is it?
It's 7:15.
It's 6:45.
Oh, grody. Okay, that is no. Is it too late to get my name taken off of this? Can I like?
Do you want me to ask for you? I can ask for you.
Oh. And Callum just kind of like pulls on his jacket. Just chill pill, okay? And kind of Callum kind of looks at you and kind of just finishes the end of his cigarette and then kind of looks for somewhere to kind of put it out. And then he kind of exhaling the last of it, kind of squats down and like stubs the cigarette out, and then with nowhere to dump it, he just puts it in his pocket. Morgan. And he kind of looks at Eric for calling you by your surname.
Good morning, Callum. How are you today?
A little like Eric, but maybe not as rude. I am kind of. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to this. Do you know Dr. Berkowitz?
No, only kind of like sat in a couple of lectures and that kind of thing, but I wasn't really supposed to be there, so I didn't really interact.
Yeah, no, I 100%. I have like it, the guy has some choice uh outlooks on things. He's a bit of a kind of a, and he kind of leans in, and he's a bit of a bad boy when it kind of comes to the academics. Um, I'm really hoping that like that's who we get in fourth year.
I really hope so too, and I hope he's still there for when it comes to my turn. This sounds great. I'm excited to hear his views.
Do you know? Have you heard anything like kind of about what
No.
we're um okay, well, like if you hear anything, let us know, and if I hear anything, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm trying hard not to not like be a wannabe here, but like, if there's any chance that we could impress Berkowitz, like I'm just,
How could? What do you mean by bad boy of academics? Like, what do you think would impress him?
I've heard that like he's kind of rewriting an awful lot about what we kind of understand about like culture and like just the impact of like spoken stories and folklore and stuff like that. And you literally just kind of hear kind of an audible from Eric. Gag me with a spoon. This
At the talk of folklore, I think Morgan's eyes are going to light up, and she's really intrigued. Yeah.
At this point, security. Your alarm is going off. Like it is just a and now there's banging on your door, and it's like, dude, and it's just thump constantly.
Knowing that somebody is annoyed more than he is by the alarm, security lets it go on a little too long.
The door is like it's wedged open. What's the state of security's room? Like, is he a neat freak? Is it just clothes and laundry and like pizza boxes and
It's immaculate from the door until you get about 2 feet from the bed, and then there's just books instead of floor.
Okay.
For like a perfect little nest around where he sleeps.
Look, dude, Downblythe, I warned you. Look, we've all warned you. We've told you we're done. And in storming in these sort of like plaid boxers and like a football jersey that's been cut into kind of a crop top, spills Zachariah. You're like one of you, like the guy who shares the wall. That your alarm clock just happens to be. And he now sees taped to. He kind of just looks at you while you're in the bed, goes over, rips the alarm clock off, like pulls it with the tape, opens the window, and just throws the alarm clock out into the tree, like across from your window. I'm done. Like I'm done. I am a report. I'm just gonna report you. I'm like I've had it, and he just storms out.
You can't report me for having an alarm clock. Good morning.
You just hear the sound of a door slamming from like outside the hall. In the fleeting moment that you kind of looked across, you see that the alarm it is reading 7:50.
Am I late? Am I late for
You
something?
are 20 minutes late.
I jump up. I'm still wearing the clothes I fell asleep in because I didn't go to bed. I push some books off the end of the bed and dig through them for the correct books that I think I need for that day, whether that's like a novel or some research that's been on my mind. Um, and I get out of bed, already have my shoes on. They were still there. I slick my hair back. It's down to about my shoulders at this point. And I just get up and I leave like that.
You just as you head out, you see that like some of the other doors like here on in your like in the hallway, like leading to some of your other roommates' rooms and stuff that are already kind of open. And like they're like there's a couple who are kind of scowling at you as you kind of spill past. You don't know if it's um you don't know if it's the actual the fact that your alarm clock is being going off, or you don't know if it's the fact that of everybody on this floor, you were the only person selected for the Pineview research field trip. And ever since the letter came and your word got out that you were a candidate selected, their tensions have been running a little high with you and your um, dorm mates.
It's got to be at least one person there who's still on good terms with me.
Yeah. Mr. Beagle, the janitor slash sort of like security guard, who is down by the door, kind of very much like with the little security cap kind of down over his eyes. There is there are 2 cups of coffee set on the kind of the tall counter that kind of forms half his booth. And you can kind of hear kind of a whistling sound coming from him. It sounds a little like a high pitched snoring. But the second cup of coffee, you know that he has had a tendency of the coffee is absolute awful. It's terrible, but it does tend to have a serious kick to it. And he has been kind of particularly on mornings where you were running late or you have exams or whatever it might be, he has been kind of like he's kind of taken a shine to you. And he's been a little bit kinder since the mood in the dormitory has kind of tanked.
I go over and I tip like the tip of his cap just up a little, so I'm like eye line with him, and I'm like, Beagle, my guy.
No, I was like Margaret. I had something in my eye, Margaret. Oh.
There's an alarm clock outside you can have if you need it.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Downblythe.
Call me Alex. I keep telling you.
Of course, Mr. Downblythe. And he kind of sits the chair kind of back up, and he kind of nods at like the coffee. It's particularly awful this morning.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I think I need it. I don't even remember when I fell asleep last night, where I fell asleep last night, and I'm late. So you're a godsend.
Oh, you're late. You've got the fancy holiday
research trip. Yeah. Not a holiday. Not a holiday, even a little.
Oh, okay. Well, your learning trip that you're going off to, and you see he's reaching like kind of while he's chatting to you, he's reaching for like a broom that he has duct tape kind of attached to you, and your alarm clock being chucked out the window is not anything new. And he's already kind of reaching for it. Well, look, I'll get rid of I'll take care of the clock, and I'll settle it with Devin, the TA. I'll just let him know what's going to happen to us. You go and enjoy your holiday.
I'm not even a little worried about it. Thank you so much. You have a great day. You have a great time while I'm away.
Yeah. You what is it? What is it that they're saying today? You have a bitchin' time? And he
Yeah,
kind of he
Vigo.
does he
I'm
kind
gonna
of
have a
half
bitchin'
throws like a
time.
half yeah, he makes like a kind of a gang sign at you, or it's like he saw it on a poster for Pepsi. Like it's like it's like a sideways peace sign, but like his fingers are half kind of gnarled in, like he's hooking something, and his pinky is extended. So it's kind of like that is what he kind of gives you.
I hold up my hand for a high five because I feel like he needs it.
Uh, he takes it and he shakes it.
I lift my coffee and I make my way out. I'm pointing at him as I back out of the.
Yeah, and he's still got his Pepsi gang sign at you, and he takes a swig of the coffee. He's like, as you come spilling out, you see it being almost 8. The campus is a little. There's a little bit more activity. There's a bit more kind of life, and you're about kind of a 10 minute, so you're definitely going to be half an hour late for the bus or for like the meeting for this. You can see that there's outside kind of it's kind of it's one of the arts buildings or like where it's kind of like where the faculty of philosophy and the theology kind of departments kind of intermingle. There's a small crowd. They've been here pretty much every day for the last 6 months, like rain, shine. They have been standing outside, preaching, protesting to anybody that will listen. You almost half recognize some poor young woman who seems to find herself surrounded. Not sure where. Maybe it's just one of those faces that you recognize on campus. But then you hear sort of the like a bell chime, kind of denoting the 10 minutes to the hour, and you book it for the student building. You can see the rooftop, but you book it in that direction. Antoinette, so if you would just accept Jesus into your heart, well, we're all going to burn in hellfire, but you will be redeemed in the eternal dawn. So, and this bright-eyed, polished, blue-eyed, sleeky, mousy, blonde-haired fellow in a white shirt, gray anorak coat, raincoat, black pants that have been ironed to an inch of their life, and shiny black shoes, is holding a Bible at you.
You know what? I'm actually so good. I really couldn't be less interested in
We
salvation.
have regular meetings on campus and off campus. Pastor Josiah has been able to through some amazing donations has acquired an old community center where we meet on a regular basis. We hang out. We have
Pastor Josiah, isn't that the guy who was done for embezzling 2 towns over? I'm pretty sure it was. I had totally read something in a newspaper about that.
You did. You read absolute lies peddled by mainstream media against the founding father. So you can't pay attention to anything they have to say. They are lying to you. This is what I was saying. They've been lying to us for a long time. The real truth, the real stories, and he starts tapping the Bible, can all be found. Your answers, your salvation, can all be found in the book.
Okay, you know what? I am actually late for something, but what I might do is take this and read it on the bus.
You can't. There's the end is nigh, miss. We are at the 12th hour. God is calling to you.
But the bus is calling to me.
And then
so
you do hear like honk honk like in the distance.
Yeah, she's going to be like backing away, just being like, I'm so sorry. I would be happy to debate why you're totally wrong any other day. I will talk to you later. And she's going to turn and book it for the bus.
You turn and immediately you collide with somebody. Slow your horses, little lady. Slow your horses. Jeb, the young woman clearly has a place to go. I'm so sorry, miss. And standing kind of over you, about 6'2", is this rake of a gentleman. Probably like he's tall, he is gangly, probably in his kind of early 40s. Sallow skinned, clean shaven. There is the strong smell of like herbs or spice or something. You can't quite put your. It's not weed. Like it's not. He doesn't smell like a dorm room. But there
Okay.
is sort of a strong. It's not quite floral, and it's not quite earthen, and it's not quite smoke. You don't know.
Is it a good
Um,
smell?
it's not off-putting. It's very strong, and it's kind of catching. You know when you when you first open a bottle of perfume and you kind of you accidentally take a. It's like that. It's like you've just taken a mat because you've just hit him. Like you've kind of collided with his chest. So you've just kind of gotten like a nose full of his scent. And it is sort of a woody, musky, floral, spicy, herby kind of smell. And you see that like for as tall and sort of lanky as he is, his features are quite sharp, and his eyes are kind of almost sunk a little too far into his head. And there are kind of dark circles under his eyes. His hair it's jet black, and it's just sort of slicked to one side. He is wearing a black suit, white shirt, and just a little black pin in the neck collar.
She's gonna take a big inhale to like get her bearings, and then immediately start sneezing.
I'm so sorry. I've just come from dawn service. The frankincense can sometimes. Why don't I? And he takes a pocket of. He reaches into his pocket. And he takes out a packet of tissues, and he hands it to you.
She's gonna just take one out and hand
Oh
it
no!
back.
Please take the. And he's now kind of pressing it into your hands.
Oh, okay. She doesn't like that at all. I really don't mean to be rude, but I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Please. And he turns to kind of like, and he kind of opens the path for you. You have a blessed day, little lady.
You can count on it. And she's gonna blow her nose as she walks away from him.
You just kind of hear kind of not shouted at you, but sort of projected in your direction. The Lord loves you. Even if you're listening to all their lies, the Lord loves you.
I highly doubt that. She's going to mutter under her breath.
You make your way late with the sound of a bus, like that heavy bus horn kind of blasting. You make your way to the courtyard, and just a minute or two behind security, you are the last to arrive. Morgan, and sorry, not Morgan, Antoinette. And there is that sort of thing. Security, you see, it is that girl, like, but the girl that was in that outer courtyard talking to the religious people. She's the last, so at least that's the case. A clipboard has been shoved into your hands. You see that there's the side of the bus is open. The luggage compartment is packed full of rucksacks and suitcases, and there's a rather irate woman sort of just tutting at you. You do recognize her, security, as Vanessa Fitzgerald, one of the TA. There's a handful of TAs, but they answer to her, and she answers to Dr. Berkowitz. and like that, there is just kind of the bus, Mr. John Blythe.
I look at the stack of books I'm holding, and I suddenly realize that I've picked up the wrong thing when I've left.
Tea.
Do I have time to go get my rucksack real quick, so fast?
We're already 20 minutes late. What's another 10?
Great outlook. I like it. I'll be right back. Hold these, and I give her the books in a row.
You kind of spill them into her hands, and as you turn, you see that young woman kind of approaching from one of the side pathways, and then you hear the familiar sound of books dropping. And oh, Miss Belly, you're fortunate. I thought, and there's kind of a click, a heavy, pronounced, sharp click of the pen. I thought you would be late, but it seems that Mr. Downblythe forgot to pack anything useful, and she looks down at the pile of books at her feet.
One just says in big letters, "Is Mothman real?"
She's gonna look at the pile of books with an approving assessment, and then just be like, I don't know, maybe you've heard the rumors about that forest.
Sign the sign-in sheet, Belly, and take a seat on the bus. And she does just kind of like push the clipboard into your hand.
She'll take it off her and sign as slowly as possible, trying to read what she's signing.
Again, it is just a sign-in sheet. Like you see a list of 12 people. 11 out of the 12 signatures have been signed. Miriam Blythe is blank.
Do I recognize that person?
No, you don't recognize the name at all.
We lost the sheep already? This Miriam? I don't know her.
Oh. Get on the bus. She's late. Like, you're all late. I don't want to keep Dr. Berkowitz any later. He's already left. So we have a stop. We're not going to make the first stop. I'm canceling the first stop. You can thank Belle Lee and Down Blythe. And
you can thank those Jesus freaks for stopping me.
Bulldoze past them. It's like,
well, some of us have manners.
Apparently not enough to stop us all from being late for the university field trip that's been paid for. Get on the bus.
She's going to show the signed clipboard back at her and put her rucksack over her shoulder and get on the bus.
I cannot. What is it with? I don't know. And she is just kind of talking to herself.
How old is this woman?
In late 20s.
Okay. So she's just a
heart?
Square.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just looked and I just saw this and I was like, heart? My heart is actually a square. Security. Is there anything in particular that you're are you just grabbing a rucksack and putting clothes into it?
I imagine I was clever enough to pack the night before.
Okay.
But then immediately forgot I did and didn't remember to take it. So I probably have a bag with the books I actually wanted to take and the clothes I needed.
Okay, so again, there is next to the door a really well packed, well ordered rucksack full of essentials for Lake Pineview and kind of all weather gear. You just bulldoze past it and start shoving like whatever you kind of can into another duffel bag, and then a second bag then for like extra bits. So you've grabbed kind of clothes, some clean, some semi-clean, and you head back to the courtyard. You see again the side of the bus is still open. Your books have been left out in the courtyard, and as you approach, you do hear sort of the honking of the bus horn again.
Well, I'm running. Like I'm going to be out of breath, dying when I get on that bus. I'm really booking.
You spill towards the bus, and again, like as you kind of approach, Fitzgerald just kind of sticks her head out the door. What's your major damage, down Blythe? And then she kind of, she's not waiting for an answer. She just swings back in, and you can just see her stomping back towards the end of the bus.
I put my bag in the open side and pick up my books from the ground, and I call out to her, "Namaste to you too," and follow her sheepishly onto the bus.
Why do I love Minecraft? I've just what's...
You said your heart was a square.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. All right then. I was going to say turkey jockey, but it's not. It's chicken jockey, isn't it? So that'll go to show you how much about Minecraft I know.
Big fan.
Big fan of the old turkey jockey. That's a different movie.
Who had Declan to be the first to make a crude joke?
I told you this is a different vibe for this one. I get to use 80s slang and be an 80s.
Your favorite.
So yeah, security, you dump your stuff onto the bus, and there is just a "shut that bus" from inside. You shut the compartment.
He didn't realize he was talking to me to begin with. But yeah.
Oh yeah, no. You from inside it, you just hear kind of a croaked, smoky like bellowing from the driver, and yeah, you gonna go. I said, shut the bus.
Yeah, I do my best to shut the bus.
The compartment groans like like as you kind of pull it down. There is that like the bus is not the newest. This looks like it's well traveled. It does have the University of Blackwood on the side of it, and as you spill up into the bus, security set there in the driver's seat. Morgan and Annie, you've already had the pleasure of smelling Gus, the chain smoking, sweaty undershirt wearing, heavy set fellow, set in the driver's seat. He has a cigarette in his mouth, smoking almost to the butt, and he has a lit cigarette in his other hand, kind of getting ready. There's an ashtray that is just piled like some sort of ancient mound of ash and brown yellow stained filters. There is a sign just on the window, don't yak to the bus driver. There's a set of bobbleheads, some of which are missing their heads, glued to the front of the bus. A lot of them are very inappropriate, as they're mostly just heavy-chested women, and it's not the heads that bobble as the bus begins to reverse. There is one seat, security, and it is the accompanyer's seat. It is right across from Gus.
Sit down and I do my best. Hi,
I
how's it
don't know
going?
what buses Declan rode on in the 1980s. Yeah, security, you're hunkering down?
So show him the book I'm reading and
there's no inspiration in this game, but Emma, I know that was you that wrote Busty Buses. If I could have, I would have. we must figure out something for an inspiration for this game. Like the bus kind of reverses, and you just like with all the care and dexterity of a man that really doesn't care. Gus reverses out of the courtyard onto one of the campus roads, and you spill out onto uh, the kind of the downtown, or sorry, the down, like it's not a city, but like you spill out into the town streets off campus, and it's a short spin from there to the highway. Along the way, Gus is fiddling with the radio, and for those of you that are like, are any of you kind of like, I guess, what's everybody doing on the bus?
Am I unmuted?
Morgan, yeah, we'll start with you.
Okay. Great. So she's probably about. She went to go sit in the front seat beside the driver, but then saw the sign about not yakking and wanted to be respectful to his boundaries. So she sat about 3 rows back, inviting Callum to sit with her so they could discuss various different sociology theories and how she can get ahead over the next 2 years. Yeah.
Callum went to sit next to you, and then Eric just kind of pulled him into the seat. So they are sitting on like the opposite side of the bus to you, but Callum is on the outside of that seat.
Okay. So she'll move over to the outside of hers and just kind of sit and talk to him and discuss I don't know, whatever art students talk about.
Current
That's
affairs.
a read from you. Really wished. I'd love you all to know, but that is actually a read from Emma to those of us who pursued arts and humanities with her fancy IT degree
from an art college. It's not even worth it.
You hypocrite. But yeah, it is. So you're what you're saying. The two of you are kind of lost in conversation. Eric has he just takes out his Walkman and he puts on his headphones, and he is absolutely blasting some awful mixtape. You think you hear some Boy George or George Boy. You're not really sure what they're calling him. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit of that sort of like 80s Britpop kind of blasting out of and it's a little too loud. But he's now kind of like breathing on the window, and just writing on it. You're lost in conversation with Callum.
Yeah.
Annie.
Yeah, she's reading, of course.
You're reading. Where are you set?
She would have taken probably the last seat would have been the driver's seat, and then whatever the other seat was.
So you have So right. So it's the front row, and you do recognize sort of an elderly gentleman, and he's sat there, and he's currently organizing his mints on a napkin, and he's got a little sort of like a small little. Is that a compass? And he's just sort of like etching kind of like 8 a.m. Oh, well, it's 8 a.m. now, and he pops the first breath mint, and then he continues to kind of label them. He's trying to label the mints with like a little, just to remind himself. And he does not move. He is sitting on the outside. He does not move as you go to approach. So it's either we've established that you're not sitting beside Gus. So how are you getting past this guy?
I'm so sorry. I need to sit there. I'm really sorry to disturb whatever it is you're doing here.
He looks up at you. Oh, the seat's not taken.
Do you want me to climb over you?
I think that's probably best.
Wow. Okay. She will kind of throw her rucksack over
There's an overhead rack, like if you want to throw it.
Oh yeah, she'll throw it up there, taking her book out first, and then we'll just kind of scoot past him, trying to maintain as much personal space as she possibly physically can.
He doesn't tuck his knees in. He doesn't, in any way, shape, or form, adjust himself to like make it any way easier for you to get in. Just give me a roll of 2d6.
Oh god! The first roll of the game, and it's for a creep. 2 2s, a 4.
Okay. No, it's to be honest with you, he's not even being a creep. He just doesn't really like. He doesn't look at you. He doesn't excuse himself. He doesn't care, or he's not bothered.
Is he a professor? Like,
Yes.
do I recognize him?
You're not sure of his name, but he's definitely dressed like a professor. Like he's you've seen him on campus, but you don't quite know. But he looks a bit like a dork. Like he looks like kind of one of maybe
What
it's
a
from like
dweeb.
science. Yeah, like a bit of
Okay.
there's a bit of a dweeb vibe off him. And he continues to kind of scratch the times for the mints on it. I won't be sharing any of these with you.
That is totally fine. And she pauses, looking up at the roof rack. Brought my own snacks.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything. And she's gonna sit down and just shuffle into the window as much as she can.
What's that novel you're reading?
It's a romance novel. I don't think you'd appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry. No. I have a tendency to in motor vehiculars. My constitution. You can't. I'm so nope. And he's kind of gesturing for you to put the book away.
I'm sorry, me reading gives you travel sickness.
If you please refrain from using that word. It has also a tendency to upset me a little.
Read.
Okay, I'm going to need to pop one of my emergency mints. And he kind of reaches into the inside of his. It's a dusty sort of brown coat that he's wearing with patches. And he takes out a little cylinder, and he pops it, and he starts gnashing into a mint. It is the vapor from it you can feel kind of catching at your eyes, Annie.
She's gonna squint and just.
Yes, it's probably best if you do close your eyes and we just sleep the way there.
She's gonna kind of, when you kind of hoosh yourself up to look behind you over the back of the coach seats and just desperately search for another seat and realize the only one left is beside Gus.
Well, there's one more.
Beside who?
Beside Vanessa.
No.
she locks eyes with you, and there is just this very telling sort of shit-eating grin on her face as she slides out of her long black coat, and she folds it and puts it on the seat next to her.
I hope she dies first.
Spoken like a true English nerd. Yeah, so you are set there with your eyes stinging and your nose filling with the smell of mints. Mm-hmm. Security. And then my fourth wife, she was always on the CB radio. She was always just chatting away and Vietnam, and I'm coming on over to the softball team, and you look like a fella that plays a little bit of that there, don't you? Definitely play a little bit of the fastball.
Oh yeah, I played a bit of the softball when I was young. Did you guys ever play in Vietnam?
Early arms on you, yeah. Oh no, I've
makes me run fast.
Quarterback all the way, my time. Senior champion. Go Tigers. And he goes to roar, and it's just kind of.
I take the opportunity while he's hacking along up to talk about what I'm reading to try and change the subject away from what I assume will be the fifth wife in a moment. The squonk, huh? You know what the squonk is, Gus?
Squonk.
Says here it's a creature that lives in the wilds of Pennsylvania. It's so ugly.
That reminds me of my fifth wife. She had a tendency to live out in the wild. Something a bit of a huntsman about the lady. Damn good. You ever eaten any skunk there?
Okay, Gus. Okay.
He is, for the record, that other cigarette is now gone. It's on the floor at his feet. The other one is in his mouth, and he's now kind of offering you it's a Cabbage Patch Kids lunchbox that has lots of it melted. Like you can see kind of scorch marks and burn marks on it. And he's kind of gesturing the box at you. You can clearly see through the tomato stained plastic cigarettes. It's just a horde of cigarettes.
I produce an apple from somewhere, and I'm like, no, I never touched them.
No, my God, you're gonna have to help me to keep these lit now. So I'm gonna keep two hands on the wheel at all times there now. So I do. So I'm gonna need you to light that next one there for me.
Okay.
This is fucking with my voice in no way. My fucking throat.
Raw scrapers,
raw.
eat your
It's
heart
not
out.
raw. Yeah, I know. Just when you think I couldn't get any gravelier, Gus is in there. So he's looking for you to light the.
With the absolute precision that only an American boy who has been to a frat party can achieve, I light the next cigarette for him and hand it to him.
Okay. I'm going to need you to roll 2d6 for me as well. There's no constitution checks, but let's see how well you're able to.
Can I see this?
Yeah, he's right in front of you. Yeah.
Okay. Her eyes are still closed, but she's listening and kind of having a little chuckle to herself.
I've rolled a 3.
Whatever absolute tar barrel scraped flecks of black ichor Gus has been burning. This is what you imagine the ancient carcass of a brontosaurus congealed in the ichor of time, now drizzled and dripped over the sweat-stained mound, blood-infused grounds of the fields of Gettysburg. Tastes like, as you choke on this mouthful of acrid smoke that doesn't actually burn your lungs. No. That would imply you were able to get it out. It infests you. You feel it sitting deep in the wells of your lungs. Security, as you hold. You hold on to everything. The bus is a little bleary. You feel a little motion sick, and Annie, as you are watching and listening, you kind of hear, like, with all his conversation and his looking for cigarettes to be lit, Gus hasn't changed the radio station, and you can just hear over the hacking from security, and there's something kind of wholesome about this young man not being able to smoke.
It's very cute.
You hear a announcement on the radio. Janet Van Deer coming here from Channel 74. Yes, Eric, I am on site at the accident, a 4-car pileup. The driver, whom we now know named as Miriam Blythe, A teaching assistant at local Blackwood University lost control of the car, crossed 3 lanes of traffic before she collided with an Arctic lorry. And then you just kind of, you pass me that cigarette. You want some music? You want to listen to a little bit of some of the tunes that you kids are listening to? Something a bit. And he kind of starts to flick through the channels again. With that, the bus fills with plumes of smoke, and the dulcet warble of a Midwestern cowboy fills the void of silence and conversation. And there's a moment, Annie, where did you hear that correctly? Did you hear the kind of spilling in your mind, and then you hear the familiar gnashing of another mint from the professor sitting beside you. The day rolls into the afternoon, and then there is a familiar, no, we're not stopping, we don't have time. Again, as I've already announced, you can direct all complaints to the front of the bus, as Vanessa announces that you will not be stopping at the Gulp and Splash gas station. The bus pulls in at a Motel 6 later that evening. You are assigned rooms, and the trip continues first thing in the morning. Annie and security, your room gets a 1-hour head start, courtesy of reception ringing your rooms non-stop until you're answering. You are on the bus. Your seats are now assigned. Vanessa assures you, Annie, that it is for security reasons. Morgan, Callum, however, has reserved the seat next to you. He's quite enjoying your company. Zool44 wants to know, is there a toilet in the back of this bus? There is no toilet, I'm afraid. And there is, but it doesn't function, so it can be used to store your luggage, if you can get around the heap of cigarette ash. And towards the end of our second night, as you travel southeast along the highway, you see the landscape rolling and shifting. Like it's sort of the cold, wet countryside of Pennsylvania. I'm so sorry to any of our American friends that are watching here, by the way. I'm like, I assume Pennsylvania is cold and wet. It's all in the movies that we get over here about America. That's what we always see Pennsylvania as. Sort of small little pop-ups of suburban or urban America, kind of nestled against harder landscape. It is just road and pylons and electric cables, the odd factory, the odd smattering, the odd gas station that you pull into. It's late into the evening on our second night of the road trip. You are, as Vanessa announces, about a day and a half's ride. We've made excellent time. We've caught up on our schedule, so hopefully Dr. Berkowitz won't be too put out by the delay. And because if you're not early, you're late. And she makes that face at you, security.
Annie rolls her eyes.
You find the bus sort of pulling in down a laneway off the motorway, and you can see kind of the neon glowing of a gas station and motel. And as you approach, you do see this glowing sign, 24 Heaven, and you approach the motel and diner / gas station, and you see trucks have parked up to one side. It's quite a busy little spot, and under the neon glow of fluorescent lights. The door of the bus opens and cold night air kind of rushes in, and on it, the perfume of petroleum and the chatter of drivers and motorists, truckers, the very, very faint sounds of Dolly Parton echoing on a very broken tannoy system, sort of crooning into the night air. Out from under the shelter or canopy of the filling station and down around the corner past the motel, you can just see the silhouette of hills and the blanket of stars behind them. And there is something picturesque about it, only met by the sound of "Get out of the way there, I gotta go take a slash," as Gus sort of like bulldozes past you, Morgan, to kind of make his way to the, as he put it, jacks. You've arrived at 24 Heaven. You're halfway to Lake Pineview and the great state of North Carolina. What are you all doing?
Are we getting
we
off the
start.
bus?
Yeah. So yeah, this is our pit stop. This is our pit stop tonight.
I'm out and I'm like air.
Yeah, it's heavy with the smell of petrol or gas, but it doesn't matter. It's better than the smell of Gus and cigarettes. So yeah,
We've been assigned our rooms, right? So we know where we're.
Yes, yeah. It's the same. Like, again, Vanessa has kind of, she's not heading to the diner and the convenience store. She's heading towards the motel to get everybody kind of checked in and kind of keys sorted. Accommodations, you've been informed, Morgan, are staying the same on the road and at camp. You have been bunking with Antoinette Bell Lee, who you know from campus. You don't run in the same circles. She's the RA on she's an RA in your dormitory, and she's a reputation for being a bit of having a stick up her ass.
Okay. Cool. Morgan's gonna go bring her backpack to the room and just take out her night dress. Night dresses were big in the 80s, weren't they? So she'll take out that.
I had several.
And she'll put that on her pillow just so she's ready for later, and just put her stuff in the bathroom, like her face creams and her toothbrush, and freshen herself up a small bit before going over to the diner to see if she can get something to eat or drink, or some other people she knows better, potentially Callum or whoever else is there.
Yep. So again, you see some people are kind of following behind Vanessa, some of the kind of the other TAs, some of the professors that are on the bus. I'm going to give you the list of everybody who's on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, you've kind of established that you know Callum and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
There's Jesse and Maximus. They protested on the first night that they were not allowed to share a room together, that it's girl, boy. There's no co-ed rooms. Jesse and Maximus have been dating for the last week. They are madly in love. He is a drama major. She's a drama minor and a psych major. So they have been cast in A Streetcar Named Desire, but it's a modern telling of the play where it's actually about the car itself from the car's perspective. So just so happens that Max, or Maximus as he prefers to be addressed, is also the writer and director of the play. Callum and Eric, who you know from the anthropology department and the folklore group. Morgan, there's Vanessa and Romina. Vanessa and Romina are both from the arts and humanities as well, both in sociology, both first years. Vanessa is a little bit of a kiss ass, and Vanessa is a little kiss ass to senior Vanessa. and she wants people to start calling her Little V. And Vanessa Major is having absolutely none of it at all whatsoever, and she's trying to get everyone to call Vanessa by her middle name, Charlene. So Romina is her roommate, sociology and languages, and is hoping to be a translator for the UN. And you have Mike and Chris, who are effectively, you don't know what they're studying. They don't know what they're studying. They are burnouts. Philosophy, you think, but every chance they get off the bus, they disappear for a little bit and come back a little bit quiet and a little bit spaced out. There's, as I said, Vanessa Fitzgerald, who was the teaching assistant to Dr. Marlon Berkowitz, Stephen Landler, a PhD supervisor and assistant lecturer in the Department of Business. Dr. Frank S. Mathis, who you have been set beside the entire time, Annie, is a microbiologist, an environmental scientist. And there's, again, you've heard Marlon, Dr. Berkowitz has traveled separate to the bus, and he is accompanied by a visiting lecturer, Dr. Sheila Kassim. She's a visiting lecturer from the United Kingdom. Every time she says this, Vanessa does put on the United Kingdom. She stresses the Britishness when you have to say United Kingdom for some reason. What state is Vanessa? Missouri. Vanessa Charlene is from Missouri. So there are currently on the bus, there are 11 students, and there are three staff, 2 TAs and a lecturer or doctor, and Gus, the driver. And everyone does kind of filter off. Some are following behind Vanessa to get their room keys. Mostly kind of the lecturers who kind of had enough of being on the bus with the young people. A few are kind of filtering towards the diner, and some are filtering towards kind of the convenience side of it. So, Morgan, you're heading to the diner. Annie and security?
She would have gone to drop her key or drop her bag, and then go to the diner with the intention of getting takeout to go back to the room.
Okay. And security?
Security has found a bench, a seat, anything, anywhere, and is just enjoying the fresh air for a bit. He has his book over his lap, and he is staring off into the sky, completely lost. Just glad to be off the bus for a bit. Hasn't thought about food, hasn't thought about anything that far ahead just yet.
As you, again, sort of sitting, there is sort of a viewing point. I mean, it's pitch dark, you can't see a whole pile, and there's just cars whizzing past on the highway. But there is sort of a couple of benches and a very dead birch tree, kind of half leaning against some propane tanks. But you can take a seat there, security, and you watch as the others kind of filter in different directions. Morgan, Annie, as you go to get the room key, Vanessa is currently in a bit of a tete-a-tete with the motel receptionist, and there appears to be an issue with the booking, or some of the bookings, as the teaching staff have been handed their room keys, and now she's squabbling over the remaining rooms. As you approach, she just kind of shoots you a look. Maybe get something to eat first. This could be some time, and you don't look like you'd be useful, so...
Fine. She's gonna turn on her heel and head back out towards the diner.
As you cross that open yard, into from the motel, kind of up towards kind of the filling station or the gas station and the diner. There's somebody standing just sort of between the two, kind of like in like a laneway between like the motel and the gas station, and you only notice them because they're standing in the dark. Just the faint glow of a cigarette.
And it doesn't, like, it's just a silhouette, like, so I don't recognize
No,
the shape.
no, but you can feel them watching you.
She's gonna kind of strain to see and then look around to see if the courtyard is empty, or like the forecourt, whatever it is.
Give me investigate a mystery. So it's your 2d6 and you add your sharp roll.
I got nothing. Just kidding, I rolled 2 6s.
Okay. So on a 12 plus, you can ask me any question you want, because there's a set list of questions that you get when you investigate a mystery. But you can ask me anything you want here.
I don't know what would be useful.
So the thing is, you get to ask me anything. Like there's so you see this silhouette, this figure smoking a cigarette. They're about kind of maybe 20, 25, 30 feet away.
Am I alone on the courtyard? Like, are they?
No, they're staring directly at you.
In an intimidating way?
In a very intense way. You watch as you can see kind of the little flicker of ember in the cigarette, and it illuminates for a moment as they take a drag on it. And you recognize Pastor Josiah Crow, the man from campus.
Oh, she doesn't like that. Nope. She's going to, remembering how he kind of held onto her hand when he handed her the tissue, she's going to be like, no, I do not want to be on my own with this man. So does she see where security is sitting? Or is the diner closer?
You're closer to the diner. Security would have walked off and away from the bus and like the filling station side. That's the kind of the other side. So you're closer to the diner, and you do see Morgan Berry standing around a table, kind of talking to everybody. And then as you kind of see her, she sees you, and there is just this very friendly wave at the window.
Yeah, she's gonna make a beeline for her. She wouldn't normally be so inclined to be around people, but with the potential threat of creepiness, she is going to...
The potential threat of a man.
A man.
What it is. Yeah.
She's going to... she's going to get into a well-lit public place.
You, again, it's a thing of like shoving your hands into your pockets and like, where the fuck are my keys? Where the fuck is anything that I can... You spill across kind of the kind of the foreyard and right towards the diner. And as you do see that like a gaggle of the students have kind of taken up 2 booths, and there's a rather flustered looking waitress sort of standing there with like a notepad and a pen, and she's just hacking into some gum. You can see like Morgan, she's just so just coffees for everybody, or are we actually going to order something to eat?
Just coffee, please, and thank you.
Okay, great. Busy night, Darla. A very busy night. She reaches kind of around the counter. She takes the coffee pot and she just pours she fills everybody's cups. I'm just gonna leave, and she puts down like a fistful of menus on the table. As you kind of spill in, and Morgan, you can see Annie has joined the two groups.
Before turning to Annie, she'll just say, "Well, what's good here? What are you proud of?"
Meatloaf.
Anything less heavy? Maybe something a little lighter to snack on?
Eggs.
Okay. Bring us 3 eggs, and I'm sure we'll share them between us, and everyone will enjoy.
I'm so sorry to cut in. I'm going to take a burger and fries, please, with cheese.
And then immediately everyone's like, actually, yeah, why are we letting her order for us? and so she like, with the kind of a very obvious like, she takes the gum from her mouth and she kind of just sticks it behind her left ear. And she just starts to write down burgers, fries, cheese, and then everybody kind of starts ordering kind of off the menu. And it's kind of a mishmash of like the Caesar salad, extra Caesar, a burger and fries, but like no buns, all this kind of stuff. Like, and people look for milkshakes, people look for pie, so she takes this massive order and 3 eggs, and
well, it can just be 1 egg now that everyone else has ordered.
And she just loudly scratches out 3 and then 1 egg. Scrambled, fried, boiled.
Sunny side up, please.
And she waddles back to the kitchen. And you do hear her, like, without consulting the notebook, it is just literally she rattles off the order in some weird sort of pig Latin waitress code that she kind of chirps at the cook, who you don't see behind, but you can hear the sizzling of oil and the clanging of metal against metal as he starts to prepare the food.
Annie, hi. How's my bunk buddy?
Great. Yeah, we don't have a room.
What?
Well, Vanessa's in there arguing with the bellhop. I don't know.
What?
She said it's gonna be the guy who brings your luggage to your rooms.
Oh.
The clerk. And like Jessie kind of just pipes up over her shoulder, and Maximus kind of sniggers at you. Are you like from like the 50s?
Are you rich?
Her eyes kind of widen when Morgan asks, "Is she rich?" No. Yeah, I don't know. There's some mix up with the keys or something. So, hey, did any of you guys see the creepy pastor outside?
We lost your audio there for a sec. Say that again.
Yeah, just cut out a little bit.
Oh, did any of you guys see that creepy pastor guy from campus?
Declan, would we have seen him around? Like, is he a regular figure?
Around campus? Yeah, 100%. He is there every day. He's been there every day since the start of the academic year, way back in August, September.
Okay.
You haven't seen him here.
Good. Oh, Josiah?
I guess.
Yeah.
Josiah.
Josiah?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I'm so bad with names sometimes. Like, he's fine. He's a little pushy, but he's a good guy at heart.
No, he was creeping me out earlier, and I just saw him.
Here? On the bus?
Yeah. No, he was like lurking over there in the shadow.
Oh, maybe.
Oh my god, everybody, just ignore her. I think she's just trying to scare everybody. Like,
why would I do that?
Shut up.
I don't know. Attention.
Potentially Jessie.
Potentially Jessie.
It's
definitely Maximus.
okay.
He's,
Shut up, Maximus. Like, why can't you just be nice to everyone? You know, there's like, what do you need? What is this constant berating?
sorry, I'm actually just going to change. Jesse's name is now Emily.
Oh
Yeah, we're just going to Emily.
no! Don't make Emily be mean to me.
Emily and Maximus are being mean to you.
Rude.
Well, did you see
I'm
what
gonna call her
rudeness
Jessie.
Emily put in? Yeah, Jessica Emily Simpson.
Gemily.
Yeah, so Maximus kind of looks at you, and it's like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize that you were friends with the.
Oh my god, no, I'm absolutely not, but I'm also not an asshole.
Oh. Annie's gonna kind of frown at that.
Do you share the same stick up your asses, or do you take turns with it?
Yeah. Okay. That's
Good
fine.
one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just don't think anyone should be outside by themselves. Just saying. I mean, you guys can totally go by yourselves. And she points at Jessie and Emily and Maximus.
How about, Maximus, why don't you go outside, do a lap of the building, and tell us that she made it all up and there's nothing out there?
No, don't set me up for failure.
Callum kind of looks at you, Morgan, and he kind of like seeing kind of what you're doing. Yeah, Maximus, or are you just going to be an absolute poser? And Maximus kind of just fine. But if I get back and you've all bailed, and Jesse kind of like, no, I wouldn't bail on you, babe. I'm and he kind of fine, and he grabs his coat and nobody better eat my Caesar salad. He swapped out the dressing, by the way, for a mustard and balsamic vinaigrette. He's still calling it a Caesar salad. But he kind of ups and outs, and he like, you see him pull his coat up, but he kind of zips it, and it's more like it's a varsity jacket. But he's kind of sewn in patches, and they're all like pop punk kind of in their nature. Jess just kind of leans into the glass, knocks on it with a ring, like she kind of clacks into the glass, and then she just plants her lips on it. And he kind of starts to circle the building. Security, you can see him leave, and you watch as he kind of disappears around the side of the gas station. Slowly but surely, food starts to filter out, and the waitress has forgotten that you ordered it to go, Antoinette. So a full plate comes out.
She is starving at this point because she couldn't eat on the bus. So, knowing that, or assuming that the key debacle because Vanessa hasn't come to get them, she will plunk down at the counter and dig in.
Morgan, I know that like this is Jessie kind of like, and she's just kind of leaning in and she's kind of looking over at Annie. Like, I know kind of we've just all kind of started to hang out an awful lot this year, but I don't want to bum out kind of everybody's vibe at the moment, but you know Annie, like, she prevented Maximus getting back into the dormitories this year, right?
Oh, that's that Annie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Anna. I told you I'm terrible with names. Oh
my god, yeah, no, like totally, it's fine. It's just fine. I just
sometimes I just feel like Maximus needs to chill out a little bit, and like I'm just hard on him because somebody needs to be. I didn't, I wasn't
Uh,
trying to take sides or anything.
If I could just pause and just up above the table very quickly, Richard, there's a very important question that I need you to answer in chat right now. It's super important. Please answer that question. Thank you. She's just kind of looking at you, and she takes out like a tube of lip gloss, and she just applies a little too much, and do you think Maximus is okay, right? Like she was probably just wigging out. Like she was probably just lying.
Should he be back? How long ago did he go?
I don't know, but like it feels like
I got
forever.
distracted
Like,
by I got distracted by the eggs.
it has come out with the egg is rock solid, like the yolk is, but she has made a little smiley face using the ketchup.
Delicious. Oh, I'm sure he's probably just wigging us out, right? Like, as in trying to get us to come after him.
Oh my god, could you imagine? He like just we all go outside and we're like, oh my god, where is he? Where is he? And he's like, psych, it's me, Maximus, and I love you so much, Jesse.
Yeah, exactly. So let's play him at his own game and leave him out there a little bit longer.
Okay, and we.
What did Maximus order?
The Caesar salad, but instead of Caesar dressing, it's the balsamic mustard.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah. So Morgan's going to start eating some of that.
It is awful. Like it's Parmesan cheese in like this really oily, mustardy, vinegary slop with very wilted lettuce leaves. And we can just bail, and she kind of points over at Annie like, I'm sure Vanessa has the room sorted. It's probably just because she was late.
Yeah, it's just I have to share a room with her.
Oh my god!
I know.
Oh my god, you poor thing. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You could always just.
Can I just like topsy turvy with you? No, that's not the right phrase, is it? Tops and tails with you.
Topsy turvy. You were giving it to me for bellhop.
She kind of looks at you. Oh my god, like a sleepover.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, as long as Maximus, I don't want to get in between you guys. I know you're all, and that's not what I mean. What I just mean, if you're okay to spend one night apart, it would be great if I could just jump in with you.
Oh my god, let's totally do it. Let's just totally do it. Okay. I'm gonna say it to is her name Charlene or Vanessa? What are we calling her?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know who either of those are.
She points over like to the other booth, and you can see like this girl literally shoveling steak and eggs into her mouth.
Oh, that's Victoria.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Vanessa.
Oh.
There was the whole thing on the bus where she was like, she wanted us to all call her Little V.
Oh, yeah.
And then Maximus said that she was just a big B.
I think just call her Little V if we want to get on her good side.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Well, I can ask them. I'm not asking Annie though. So.
But the whole point of me staying in your room is for me not to stay with Annie.
Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I still got to exclude her. Okay. And she does. She kind of slinks out of the booth. And she goes, "Okay, I'm just gonna talk to Little V and Romina, and I'm gonna get them."
Can I hear any of this? No.
They're whispering away.
Okay.
Like it's a very audible, like kind of.
So she is used to this kind of whispering behind her back kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Security. What are you up to? While a slumber party is being organized and our first potential victim has disappeared around the corner, what are you doing?
I think when Maximus left the diner, the sound was enough for security to come back around to the world.
Okay.
And the smell of the diner and the time away from the buses brought his hunger back. So he gets up and he looks at the window at everyone sitting down eating their food and makes his way towards the diner as well. He probably has long missed Maximus vanishing around the corner, and
As you, yeah, as you kind of cross the forecourt, so you've multiple different gas pumps. Okay, so there's about 14 different little stations, and right in front of them is the kind of this large gas station, and you do see like the big bold chunky letters 24 in stark red, contrasted by this sort of swirling heaven, like blue and white, and there's a faint kind of glow of like a soft cream light kind of behind it that sort of just flickers every now and again. That is attached to the diner, and you so as you cross this and you watch a sort of Max, who started on a bit of a sprint, is now slow to a kind of a crawl, and seeing you approach, he turns the corner, out of sight from the diner, and now out of sight from you. He kind of goes around the corner towards the laneway next to the motel. As you pass the gas station, the convenience store inside, there's a small little alleyway kind of between the two, just like where the buildings are. They adjoin a little bit further beyond, and you can hear a rattling sound coming from there.
I don't have to walk past that to get where I'm going, do I?
Nope, you can walk right around it and head straight into the diner if you so wish.
I mean, how suspicious a rattler are we talking? Does it sound like Maximus was too lazy to find a bathroom and he's gone to the alley for a wicked whiz here, or?
It definitely sounds like something's rummaging through something.
I think I'd be curious enough to look and see if, for some reason, Maximus was going through a dumpster.
Okay. You again, it's that thing of like, oh my god, is he actually going through the dumpster? Like this is, like Maximus he's one of these preppy, popular, and waspy shits.
No, I know Maximus. I do the same major as Jesse. I've been to the streetcar play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have. Give me 2d6 of a roll, please.
7.
You managed to stay conscious for it. At one point, Maximus, who was playing most of the parts, declared his undying love for the car. And afterwards, there was a very awkward sort of social kind of everyone getting together to discuss the play and Maximus's work, and you fumbled your way through a question where Maximus kind of asked you, and what did you think about the deeper meaning? Like, what did you think about his overall commentary?
Well, at the time, I was actually writing a paper that was due in at midnight that night while I was at the show, so I just answered him with what I'd written in the paper, and he seemed really happy with that.
He was, because you mentioned the words climate and action, not together, but he seemed to finagle enough of it out of it as half a compliment, and that's enough for his ego. No, as you approach the sound of rummaging, it is somebody at the bins, but they're shorter than Maximus. Maximus is quite a broad, kind of athletic build on him. Quite tall, kind of just a little over 6 foot, not quite 6'1", not quite 6 foot. He will tell you he's 6'1", but you clearly see somebody rummaging through one of the larger bins.
Like I know immediately it's not Maximus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do think I pause, and then the better part of me is concerned, and I'm just like, everything all right there, buddy?
There's just, you can just hear the sound of Neil Diamond warbling on the Tanai system. And you can hear kind of cars pulling off and trucks swimming in and some chatter. But there is just silence. They've stopped rummaging.
You lost something, or if it's food.
It's
or
mine.
money?
This is mine. This is mine. There. No. You can't take this off of me. And the lid from the waste bin just slams shut.
Did he get inside it?
Did he what?
Did he
Oh
get
no.
inside
It wasn't an
Oh.
Oscar. Like he just they're still standing there. Their hands firmly like wrapped around the lid. Top of the lid.
I looked down the alley, past him. No sign of Maximus.
No.
You didn't see a big guy walk past here, did you? Jacket with patches on it.
I didn't. No, I'm not answering any of your questions. No, you can't ask me any questions. I'm not gonna answer anything. I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to talk to you without my lawyer present.
Hell yeah, brother. Never talk to the cops. I respect it.
No. You're only looking for what's mine, and the person sort of lumbers a little bit kind of defensively around the bin, and you can see they're about 5'4", 5'5". Their hair is in an absolute wreck. Like this person's clearly homeless in the middle of nowhere. And like you can see all kind of the dirt and the grime on them, and their one hand is now kind of firmly on the bin, and they've put their body in front of it to kind of stop you. Another hand is just like pointing at you. You can see that their hand is bandaged.
I'll tell you what, guy. I'm gonna head in and I'm gonna get some food. If you want to join, if you want to change your mind even in a bit, I'll.
It's all poison. It's all you eat your shit and your poison and you drink it down. Yeah. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going.
I'm already like backing off slowly.
You're going to hell. You're all going to hell. 12 of you. You're all going to hell. 12 bells. And he just starts like ranting. You're gone. You're all gone. And he's now banging the top of the bin, like he's like making it ring.
Namaste, brother. And I like back out away.
You back into Maximus. It's like, friend of yours?
Oh yeah, we're real close. We go way back. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he lunges, like the guy at the bin kind of lunges, and it's like, whoa, no thanks, dude. We don't swing that way. Well, at least I don't know about security. And he kind of just kind of elbows you and kind of like shunts you towards the diner.
Away we go.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck?
It just seems like a homeless guy who's looking for something to eat. Just I offered to get him something, but I think he's
You just pissed him off?
It doesn't seem like he was all there. I mean, I've been pissing a lot of people off today. I guess I'm on a streak.
You know, stick up her ass. You know, the RA. What's her name?
Vanessa?
Oh, is her head in the... no, Charlotte. No, you know the sad one, the one that she's always head stuck in her book.
Oh, Annie.
Yeah, Annie. She's sitting beside Dr. Mathis. Yeah, she has just managed to piss everybody off in there.
What happened?
She's made up some bullshit about seeing that creepy pastor from the campus. Like she really got to Jessica. Like she's really upset. I think she's just trying to scare everybody. So maybe don't tell them about your homeless friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Good vibes only. Got it, brother.
Okay. Okay, and you saw me do the laps.
Yeah. You went down the alley and came around the whole other
Yeah.
behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And you see him dusting off the front of his coat, and his knees have like two clear dirt patches on them.
Not gonna ask.
He kind of like shovels you kind of in towards the diner and like through the door. All good, still alive. And he kind of like makes finger guns at you, Annie. And he kind of nestles into Jesse, who kind of like, okay, so we're having I think we're throwing a bit of a party tonight. So, security,
Alex. Yeah.
Alex, okay.
Only my parents call me security, honestly.
Why?
It's a virtue name, like the Bible.
Tubular. Okay, so we're gonna get this to go, and like Maximus is looking at his salad in front of you, Morgan, and just kind of like slides the plate towards himself. Who your eyes ID for the? And she kind of like Jesse makes it of a drink.
Oh, hang on. And Morgan's going to reach into her bag and kind of take out a little plastic folder and flip through to find her section on ID cards, and takes one out for Jesse. I got you one.
Oh my god. Okay. Bestie. And Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I was born in 1973. And she kind of I'm 13 years old. He's not going to sell me booze if I'm 30.
It looks like a driving license, all right? It was the best I could get on such short notice with such low amount of money I had. So just go in. He's not going to read it. It's no big deal.
Okay, so I'm going to need you to give me a roll of 2d6. And we're going to see how well Jessie gets on trying to buy booze with her 13-year-old. her license that says she's 13.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, 1 second. That's a 6 and a 3.
Also, 9. It works, but she had to give the store assistant a number, like a phone number. She gave him yours. But it's like, again, it's not a mobile. It's not a cell phone number. It's a number.
It's my parents' landline number, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does not tell you. So Frank will be calling home every night for the next 14 nights, and asking to speak to the woman of his dreams. She buys a couple of cans of beer, she buys a shoulder of vodka, and she buys some Fireball and Red Cups. And Vanessa Fitzgerald, the TA, comes back a little bit later into the diner with keys, and you were all given your rooms. Is there anything anybody wants to do this evening, or are we good to roll out?
Good.
How many of you go to the party? Well, except Annie, who hasn't been
I'm
invited.
not invited.
Security?
Muted. Oops. Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, security goes, and Morgan, you have to go because you're now sharing the room with Emily. So yeah, the party goes on a little later. Vanessa, the TA, is fully aware that this is happening, but chooses to ignore it for a little while, and then there is a polite but firm knock on the door, and it's like, and that's enough of that, unless you want us to turn around tomorrow. Good night, all of you. and she stomps back to her room. Party ends at 1 a.m. And you roll out the next day. The road and the view beyond is just blanketed in fog. Like it's a couple of times you. Oh, we've hydration check, but I have nothing to. Oh, I have a tiny little bit of that was like that didn't even hydrate me. I think that may have dehydrated me further. But thank you, Lappinger, for that hydration check. Again, a little later on that day, when you break for a rest stop and food, Vanessa takes the group to one side around the bus and informs you that she has received a call from the university administration's office. And unfortunately, Miriam Blythe passed away 3 days ago in a car accident. Her space on the trip has been already filled. There was a waiting list, and a 12th person has been selected to participate. They will now make their way to Pineview Lake, and have been making their way to Pineview Lake, but are traveling by Greyhound bus. So they have their route is taking them a little longer. The day kind of rolls on, and like the energy, whether it's the hangover, the lack of sleep, or the news that Vanessa broke, the rest of the afternoon and evening and night are much quieter, much more subdued. And you again assigned your rooms in the motel. Night passes uneventfully. There are no parties, there are no rooms swapped. But there's also very little conversation. Jesse, Romina, and Emily, Charlene, and Romina are a little more upset. They appeared to know Miriam. She again was a teaching assistant in the German department. And languages and stuff like that. So they would have been aware of her at some point, and they've been kind of quietly, kind of loudly sobbing, making their feelings of loss known to everybody on the bus and anybody that would dare to ask if they were okay. On the 4th day, as the bus climbs into the horizon, you find yourselves spiraling up along hillside, jagged rock and crawling jagged spruce trees just jagging upwards. A little while ago that morning, you had seen a sign saying Lake Pineview, 90 miles. That has slowly been declining as you climb the road up this mountain. And occasionally you do see a smattering of like signs for campsites, boat hire, fish and tackle, hiking trails, all kind of darted here, there, and everywhere. It's late into the afternoon, with no rest stops, that the bus pulls into a well-maintained, slightly secluded campsite. The air is crisp and fresh, and you can smell nature. You can smell the grass and the earth. There's the faint sound of insects chirping, occasionally followed by the sound of a bird or something tapping against the trees. In the distance, under a grey-blue, slightly overcast sky, you can see the shore of Lake Pineview glistening. At the edge of the camp, there's a path that leads down to the shoreside and a small pier. Several tents have already been set up, and standing there in the middle of the camp, you see 2 individuals. Those of you who have attended any lectures or seminars or talks recognize Dr. Marlon Berkowitz, man in his late 50s, dusty white hair kind of strewn atop his head. Like, he's balding, but he's doing a good job at kind of like masking it a little. Um, a little under a little under 6 foot. A little stooped as well. He kind of lingers. His posture isn't the best, and he's standing there in kind of a heavy duffel coat, very muted in terms of colors, heavy brown corduroy pants tucked into some boots. You can see the tail end of like a smaller, thinner coat under that heavy duffel bag coat that he has the hood pulled up around himself. He waves as the bus kind of pulls in. Next to him, standing there in a little less weather appropriate attire, you see a woman. She looks to be like maybe Mediterranean, maybe Middle Eastern, sort of in sort of her appearance. A sort of light tanned brown skin, hair pulled back into a short, tight ponytail, wisps of grey sort of stranded through it. She's wearing a heavy cardigan that is sort of this wonderful sort of pattern of autumnal oranges and reddish browns and kind of navy, just these kind of spiraling sort of patterns. This is incredibly well made. Under it, you see that she's that kind of wrapped around herself. She's wearing long flowing pants and she's standing barefoot in the camp. And again, she kind of takes a hand out, kind of just gestures at the bus. As Gus pulls in, it's like, oh, can someone? And he kind of gestures over at like kind of the tents, and the doctor, as Vanessa, sort of like, thank you, bus driver. As already mentioned, your tents have been assigned. You're going to disembark the bus. Please do not behave like pack animals and immediately rush for your belongings. Everything will be removed from the bus. Dr. Berkowitz would like to address you all ahead of the first day. There will be food provided later on this evening. There will be a little bit of a soiree before the study begins tomorrow. I'm aware, obviously, the events have been mired a little bit with the unfortunate passing of Miss Blythe, but I would like to take this opportunity to remind you all that the university has gone to a great expense to arrange this. So, as heavy as your hearts might be, perhaps you can find the joy for learning and a little joie de vivre for Miss Blythe. Do it for her, as they say, and she kind of rattles the clipboard up at you as she disembarks from the bus. Everybody kind of starts to file out, kind of one at a time. It is chilly outside as you make your way out into the campgrounds. There are, on the northern banks, you see kind of like on a soft grass, you can see these very sturdy, expensive looking new tents set up. And they're all identical, but they all have a number out the front of them. Again, as you disembark, Vanessa is kind of pointing at the tent that you are to share. I trust everybody had an enjoyable trip on the road, and Dr. Berkowitz kind of stands forward. If I could have everybody please gather around. I won't. I'm not a man for speeches. And like Vanessa Fitzgerald chuckles loudly, forcefully at that. Please, everybody, if we could form a bit of a circle. The group kind of in the misshaped square that sort of flocks around Dr. Berkowitz, you watch as he kind of takes in everybody. Oh yes. Sorry, we are waiting for our 12th researcher. Very good. I'll speak to them when they arrive. You are all most welcome. I hope you are looking forward to our time here at Lake Pineview. Take in the air, everybody. Take in the air with me. And he just... And again, Vanessa follows with kind of a very deep breath, and some of the other TAs and the professors also, and then a couple of the other students also go to take in. As I've said, I'm not a man of many words. You are all very welcome as part of the interdisciplinary research expedition. You're all going to find this, I hope, incredibly rewarding. Many of you coming from many different departments. I see many of my colleagues, and he kind of looks towards Dr. Mathis. He kind of nods at Professor Kasim, and then the TAs. But it's to you we are all looking, and he gestures at the 11 of you kind of standing around the camp. It's you. It's your keen eye, your inquisitive minds. Is history, environmental science, anthropological significance, all of it. And he gestures at the wood line and the tree line, and then he gestures towards the lake. All of it can be found here at this very point. You have a task. A heavy burden hangs over you. You are to observe, record, and question everything. Sometimes facts suggest patterns that we don't yet understand. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't respect what we can't comprehend. There are mysteries out there, ladies and gentlemen. Things we are yet to uncover. You may uncover. So, your assignments will be posted shortly. We'll get to the business later. For now, Miss Fitzgerald you've been assigned your rooms, so feel free to unpack and stretch out your young bodies. Go for a swim if you wish. You can dine Professor Kasim and I and Dr. Mathis, and Mathis is shaking his head. We'll be doing a bit of a cold plunge. If you'd like to join us, of course, feel free to explore the grounds. I wouldn't wander too far just yet. We haven't. Your compasses and maps will be divulged to you tomorrow morning alongside those assignments. So, one final word. Be thorough. Be cautious. But be, above all else, curious. And he says that with a rattle. And he turns on his steps and he throws off the duffel coat. And you do see that he is wearing kind of a lighter winter coat underneath it. But underneath that, he is bare-chested and he is in trunks. And in his boots, he trundles towards the edge of the lake. Dr. Kasim kind of... Hello, everybody. A swim? And she kind of follows behind him. And again, the camp kind of disperses. I'm conscious of our time. Is there anything anybody would like to do at camp? Anything in particular that... Because I'm good to go for a few minutes if anybody wants to do anything. Like you can head to your... You've been assigned security, or Alex, sorry, you've been... your roommate will arrive later with the gender mix kind of getting slightly muddied. Vanessa has had to kind of redo things. So you will be sharing with the 12th individual. She just keeps calling him Mr. Man.
I think I go straight to enjoy what little peace I will have while I am here before they arrive.
Okay, so you're heading to your tent to just decompress and bask in the silence. Morgan?
Morgan's going to go for that swim.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're dumping belongings and switching into swimming gear as quick as you can?
Yeah, essentially that. Yeah.
And Annie?
Yeah, knowing full well that Morgan's going to go for a swim, she's also going to relish in the peace and quiet of having the tent to herself for a bit.
You head to the just the arm of my shirt. Morgan, you change. You head for a swim. A couple of the other students, Callum was half in his mind, but seeing you are going, he changes, and he kind of follows, kind of behind you. Eric is a little bit, what the hell? And then Eric fixes a dirty look towards you, and again, Romina, Mike, and Chris all head down to the dock, but Mike and Chris are just sitting at the edge of the dock and just smoking. The water is freezing as you dive into it. It is cold, it is clean, it is crisp, it is exhilarating, and there's hootering and hollering and laughter and cheer kind of coming out of Dr. Berkowitz as you dive in. He goes, "That's it, Miss Berry. That's it. A young heart, a young mind like yours, plunge yourself into exploration." As you splash beneath the water. And you feel it all kind of rush around you. And as your eyes kind of open underneath, you just see like thousands of bubbles just sort of erupting. And in the murky, muddy water, something moves. It swims down. It's a fish. It's a fish. Right? And as you sort of feel yourself rising up and your head breaking across the top of the water and you gasp for air, you feel something just touch your ankle. Like, just not brush against it, not rub against it. A hand just kind of fingers curl around your ankle. And then they just drift away. Alex, sitting in your tent, basking in the silence, you can hear kind of coming from beyond. You can hear kind of the laughter and the shouting coming from the lake. It's there. It's not loud. It's not breaking your peace. You can hear people kind of pottering in their tents, kind of setting stuff up. And as you sit there, you can hear the sounds of insects chirping. You can hear kind of the rattling, scratching sound. And there's a humming to it. It's just the sound of nature. It's the hum of life. But then you hear somebody humming it too. You can hear a woman's voice, low, lulling to this. And it seems to drift around the tent. But you can't see anybody outside.
I close my book over and I sit cross-legged on the floor of the tent, following the noise.
The humming stops, and you just hear sung on that same melody. The mountain she watches. She watches, oh, she watches. The mountain, she waits. Oh, she waits, the mountain waits. The dawn is near. Midnight is upon us. Oh, the mountain, she watches. She watches. Oh, the mountain, she watches. And then there's just insects and birds and the sound of the wind through the trees.
I scrabble through my bag for a pen, and on the back of an article about X-ray specs that really work, I scribble down those lyrics as best as I can remember them.
Annie, sit there with your book. You pour over the pages like it's they are, the spine of the book is well worn, the pages are earmarked, and like even some of the lettering is faded, and you can kind of you even see where some of your tears dried now but still kind of left their mark on specific chapters. You kind of holding the book, you feel, if you feel for a moment like it's a sense of nostalgia, like a comfort that comes with the quiet and with the words and the ink and the feeling of paper against your skin. And as you look down at page 119, as Bastian is to profess his love to Lady Darkwinter 10 days before he dies on battle, you see the words begin to change. Page is rewriting itself. Can you hear me? It spells out.
She frowns and then touches it kind of gently.
It's warm.
Yes.
Again, you watch as the words sort of move around the page. Antoinette, midnight is coming. They know.
They know.
That is where we leave our first episode. Marked for midnight. Somebody's watching me. Oh my god. Okay. That was an absolute blast. Sorry, that was a blast. I'm great. I'm amazing. Good night. Seriously, Emma, Eilish, Richard, thank you all so much. I hope.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was deadly.
This is giving me big Our Murder Mystery Games on the Discord server vibe.
That's the vibe I'm getting to.
And I am absolutely, I'm so looking forward to Dahi joining us as Mr. Man in 2 weeks' time. But you all played that absolutely immensely, and I tonight, like I said, is a preamble to our prologue. I wanted it to be a little bit of a like, let's get to know your characters, let's get to know the system, let's break the system and do our own thing with it, and chat. You have been incredibly sound and chatty this evening, and that has, I think that was a big help for this as well. So to everybody who watched along, to everybody who joined us, thank you so much. That was an absolute, it's a blast. I am so looking forward to telling the story of Marked for Midnight. I am a horror buff. I am an 80s culture buff, and I am a murder mystery whore. There's no other word for it. I couldn't think of another word. I don't know why I called myself a murder
First thing that came to
mystery
my head was fanatic, and that just shows how
whore. How different our minds work. So it we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time for the next episode. Until then, there is plenty more D8 Dungeon content out there for you to consume. Next Monday, we have the next episode of Saving Grace. This Thursday, we have a brand new episode of Ben and Declan on a Roll. Ben and I are going to be talking about God and how you make God in your world. So yeah, we're having a big theology episode, everybody.
Josiah?
Wait, what?
Special guest Josiah Crow, who will be on stream to decide, is it Josiah or Josiah? Thanks so much for joining us. You can check us out on all social media platforms. We are D8 Dungeon everywhere on the internet. We have an award-winning podcast series, Romancing Dungeon, that's to its 3rd season. A brand new episode just dropped last Friday. Plenty of time to listen to the last 2 seasons if you want to. Come check out our Discord server. Let me see if I can get a link into the chat here. If you're not there, we would love for you to come and hang out. And we, like I said, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. This has been marked for midnight. I am Declan. I have been your archivist, and we should have made this weekly. Okay, I'll just kill Grace. That's the only thing I can do. We'll just kill Grace, and we'll make it weekly. I've had a blast this evening, folks. So thank you so much, everybody who joined us. Thank you to my amazing table. And we never mentioned Mystery Dice Goblin. Okay, last thing. We have some really good friends over at Mystery Dice Goblin. Who are Mystery Dice Goblin? I see you asking. Mystery Dice Goblin are purveyors, makers, and sellers of some awesome TTRPG products, including Mystery Dice blind bags. So if you're in the mood for some dice, but you don't know what you want, and you want a bit of a mystery, you want a bit of what's that? You can pick up one of their blind bags where you don't know what you're getting. You're getting a full set of dice, but you don't know what they're going to look like. And if you use the code D8 Dungeon, is it the code D8 Dungeon? I can't. It's been so long since I've had just D8. If you use the code just D8, if you use the code D8 at the checkout, you get 15% off your order. You help out a really cool business, and we also get a portion of that sale as well. So that helps us pay for art, it helps us pay for music, it helps us collaborate with creators, do lots of bits, and it also helps us upgrade our gear every now and again. So yeah, you also get dice out of it. So it's win-win-win for everybody. We are going to go to the credits and have a good week, everybody. Hopefully we'll see you here on Thursday night for Ben and Declan on a Roll. And while we go to the credits, I'm going to find someone to raid, so don't just jump off. We'll keep this train going. Good night, folks.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.